Okay, thank you very much, Corinne. Welcome, everybody. Today we'll be doing open houses. Use your voice to make the right choice. And I will promise you from the start that I will not be singing for you at all throughout this presentation, but we will be talking about how you at your schools can use your voice, your students' voice, your teacher's voice to make the right choice when it comes to open house, and how hopefully these prospective families will make the right choice and choose your school in the end. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, that is me. I am Amy Sayfie Zichella. I am the Director of Admission at Ransom Everglades School here in sunny Miami, Florida. It's about 80 degrees today here. I have been at Ransom for 13 years. I'm formerly a middle school and upper school English teacher. I've been in education for almost 20 years now. I also have coached volleyball, basketball, and track, so I've certainly worn many hats in the education field. And I'm also a proud graduate of Ransom. I'm very happy to be working at my alma mater. I am a board member of SSATB. This is my first year on the board of directors, and I'm very excited to be part of such a wonderful organization and thrilled about the vision and leadership of Heather Hurl in this organization. I'm also co-chair of the Computer-Based Testing Committee, along with Tom Shepard at Lawrenceville. And we're very excited about the endeavor of the pilot testings of our CBT. We even hosted one of the pilot test sites here at Ransom Everglades School in April, as I know many of you did at your schools as well, and we certainly thank you for that. And I've also been part of the Admission Leadership Council, which is a great organization for our members. So very involved in the admission world, very happy to be doing so. Just to tell you a little bit about our school so you have a sense of who we are. Ransom Everglades School was founded in 1903. It is a day school, co-ed, college prep for grades 6 through 12 located on 2 campuses. Our current enrollment this year is 1,088 students. Our average class size is about 15 students, and our average grade is approximately 155 kids. Our tuition with books and lunch this year is $32,520. Our financial aid, something we're very proud of here at Ransom, was over $4.5 million, and we do have 100% tuition remission for our faculty and administration, and I'm very proud to say that we have a need-blind admission policy here at Ransom. Our attrition last year was 1.2%, and our matriculation, of course, we're proud of 100% of our graduates enroll at four-year universities, and you can see a little bit more about where they go. We are a very mobile class, and 80% of our graduates enroll in colleges and universities outside of Florida. And lastly, as I mentioned, I'm an old coach, so I'm proud to say that our athletic program was ranked #1 in Miami-Dade County for the 2013-14 school year. And more than 90% of our students participate in sports, and we have a booming arts program as well. So I'm a very proud alum, as I said. Of course, this information is all on our website, and if you want to learn more about our school, please feel free to go and visit our website. This is our upper school campus. It's located on beautiful Biscayne Bay. We do have a wonderful waterfront program with kayaking, crew, and sailing. And then this is our middle school campus that is located about 2 miles away from our upper school. Middle school is grades 6 through 8 here at Ransom. And I do want to say that at Ransom, our open houses that we're going to be talking about today are for middle school. We do not do upper school open houses because we are very fortunate to have low attrition. We have very few spots available in the upper school, and we do not open up any new spots. It's based purely on students leaving. So the middle schools that we're targeting, the open houses that we're targeting here are for middle school students. This is our wonderful admission office, and I know these ladies are all listening in their respective offices, so hello to my admission girls. I'm very fortunate to have such a great office, and I wanted you to see our office because I want you to see how many people we have. For a school of our size, we are actually a small office. We are 4 employees and 3 full-time, 1 part-time. We have Jackie, who's our Director of Financial Aid and Assistant Director of Admission, Anna, our Admission Associate, Betty Park, our Associate Director, and Betty is part-time. And so I want you to see that you're going to see the magnitude of these events that we put on and all the time and effort that goes into it, and the fact that we have a small office shows that you can accomplish great things even with a small staff. It's all about the amount of work that you put into it and teamwork, which I, of course, will be talking about later. Teamwork is a big part of it. So thank you to my office for always doing such a great job. So much of what I'm going to be talking about today is a tribute to them. So moving on to our topic, open houses. That's the subject for today. And if you had a chance to read the most recent publication from SSATB, I hope that you read all of them because they do such a fantastic job with publications. The one that just arrived in the mail actually a few days ago was The Ride to Independent Schools. And one of the articles on the inside was about school visits, open houses, school fairs, and the link between school visits and applications. And you will see later on in the presentation the direct correlation between the school visits and applications. And in the bottom right here, you'll see the reasons for attending open houses, confirming what you already knew about the school, and deciding whether to apply. That's a key right there, deciding. So if people come to your open houses, deciding whether to apply is important. They already know a lot about your school, but when they come, it can make a difference. Understanding the type of student the school expects in its applicant pool. That'll be very important in our presentations because we showcase our students. So when families come, they see that kid up on stage and they say, that's my kid, or that's not my kid. Maybe this is or is not the right place for my child. And of course, getting a better sense of the school's academic programs and expectations. So all good reasons for attending an open house. So what is an open house? Well, dictionary.com defines it as a time during which a school institution is open to the public for exhibition or for some specific occasion. Open to the public, exhibition, some specific occasion, all good things. And of course, we at the admission business know what an open house is. It's an event that we have to put on our best face for, get up there on stage and talk and do our slideshow. And at the end of the day, we may define it as the old dog and pony show. And I use this term because actually I recently received an email after the open house that we put on from a parent complimenting us on our form of open house and delivering information in a creative way. And she actually said, I'm so happy you all don't do the same old dog and pony show. So when I read that email, I had to include that in my webinar because that's what it can become. After you do it so many times and it's the same thing over and over again, we know it can become that. So most open houses include, of course, the head of school remarks, your admission director remarks, learning about the curriculum, learning about extracurriculars, explaining the admission process, taking a campus tour. All important things, all should be included, but you go to a couple open houses, you hear the same thing over and over again, and what this becomes to some parents and some students is blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You hear the same things. You want to hear something different. You want to do something new. You want to see something new. So how do you do that? How do you make yourself different? What makes you stand out? What sets you apart? What differentiates your school from the others? And how do you do that? So the first way to start is by thinking outside the box. That is so important. You must be creative. You must be unique, innovative, imaginative, resourceful, all these words you see here, artistic, and you've got to think outside the box. How can we make our school stand out? So here at Ransom Everglades School in 2002, going back 12, 13 years now, we decided to change things up a bit. So we gathered together with some teachers and students and our admission office, and we had a roundtable discussion. What was big in pop culture at that point in time? What were kids excited about? What were they talking about? And one thing came up over and over again: Harry Potter. Harry Potter was an international phenomenon. Kids loved the books, they loved the movies, and the most important thing was that Harry Potter was getting kids to read. Kids who had never picked up a book before were engrossed in these Harry Potter books. So for us, it was perfect. So we decided first, let's create an invitation to get people's attention. So we created this cute little invitation in 2002. It has a nice little poem on the front talking about Hogwarts, talking about Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron, that they're going to show up at our big open house. Hop on your Nimbus 2003. Find out why RE is the magical place to be. Something cute, something creative, something the kids can put up on their refrigerator and get excited to come to. Not, oh, we got to go see these schools, I'm stressed, I'm nervous, who do I have to meet? Here was something that they could relate to. Remember, once again, we're targeting middle school audiences here. And if you have an upper school, you can do something to target upper school audiences. Anything is possible. At Ransom Everglades, we're very fortunate to have a strong reputation for academic excellence. But a lot of times the parents are very stressed about getting in, and I think that it stresses stresses out their kids as well. So we wanted kids to not feel stressed about coming to an open house and to get excited about coming to an open house. So that's what we did. And we transformed Ransom Everglades School into the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We created these school banners here, just like Gryffindor and Slytherin have at their houses. We had some cute signs, our own special sorting hat with our owl headwig, and of course the taking off point for school, platform 9 3/4. So just some cute decorations, get the kids excited. And if you look at these decorations now and you see where we've evolved, you'll see our set at our most recent open house. You can see that we've come a long way. We started very small and we got big. So we decided we wanted to have cute favors for the students. So when every student walked in, our student ambassadors handed each one of them a little bag that said Ransom Everglades School on it with their jelly beans inside. Of course, our jelly beans were green and blue, but was a kind of a relation to the book and the movie of Harry Potter, Bertie Bott's beans. So something fun, something exciting for them to have. And the most important thing to note about these favors is that they have the words Ransom Everglades School on it. Everything that your families walk out of from your event or from your school should have some sort of branding on it. It's great word of mouth for your school. So I'm going to start by apologizing for the quality of these early pictures from 2002 and 2003 because this is when digital cameras were just coming out and the quality is just quite poor. But I was happy to at least have found these pictures. I found these at the 11th hour yesterday on a DVD in one of my old drawers, so you can see a little bit of the show. But what we did was we created a black auditorium, we had Harry Potter music playing, and we had 3 students from middle school who were thespians dress up as Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron. And they came in with their brooms, they came in with their lanterns, and they were searching for this magical place called Ransom Everglades School. They came up on stage after making their way through the auditorium, and they found a panel of professors from Ransom Everglades School, like Professor Snape and so on Harry Potter. And these professors proceeded to tell them why Ransom Everglades School is such a magical place. And of course, here's your panel of teachers, just like in any open house, that would talk about each one of their departments and their school. We decided to do something fun at the end, and we had a representative from our local Museum of Science bring a real owl on stage that flew in and delivered a message to Harry, just like in the movie. If you recall from the movie and the book that when Harry is invited to attend Hogwarts, all the envelopes and letters fall down from the sky, and that's what you see on the stage here. We actually had envelopes and letters dropped from our catwalk in the auditorium onto all of the students and onto the stage. And then our owl, of course, delivered that message to Harry Potter on stage, which said, just like the letter, we are pleased to invite you to apply to Ransom Everglades School. We made sure not to say attend because we know that would have been considered an acceptance letter and we didn't want parents holding us to that, but we said you are invited to apply to Ransom Everglades School. And of course, Harry Potter read that message out to the audience and everyone got excited. And at the end, just like in Harry Potter where the letters are coming from the sky and out of the ceiling, that picture on the bottom, you can see the kids jumping up. This is in our auditorium at Ransom Everglades School to catch these letters and some confetti along with it. Got the kids excited. They were all excited to apply to Ransom Everglades School. We still got all of our information out through the teachers, but of course we did it in a different way. So this new kind of open house, our first one, our trial, our attempt, we started with a simple theme, something new, something fun, something current. We came up with a creative invitation that set the tone, got people excited and curious. We had some corresponding decorations. We had some student actors, a panel of teachers talking about their departments and their curriculum, and that cool finale, of course, with the owl and with the envelopes dropping down from the catwalk. And guess what? It worked. The prospective families loved it. The students, and this is really the key, were excited about attending Ransom. They told all their friends who didn't attend the event all about it. They showed them their jelly bean bag. They talked about the owl. They talked about the confetti. But most importantly, they talked about the school because all this brought them to see the school, which of course is what you're highlighting at the end of the day. But this is a way to get them there, and this is a way to get them excited. It really became the talk of the town. People were talking about the Harry Potter event that Ransom put on. And we set ourselves apart from all the other open houses by doing something just a little bit different. and our attendance, as you'll see at the end, has increased significantly, and the next year it increased even more. So we decided, you know what, it works, onward and upward, we're going to keep this up, and we don't want to go back to that same old dog and pony show. We're going to do something different every year. So the next year was our centennial celebration. Ransom Everglades, as you saw earlier, was founded in 1903, so we thought we would do a tribute to the school's 100th year anniversary. And you open up the invitation, 2003, a cute little poem on the side saying a special year is in store for Ransom Everglades School, our 100th anniversary. Isn't that cool? Let's look to the future, discover our past, and so on, and see why Ransom Everglades is such a great place. So I don't have pictures to show you from this one, but basically what we did for this one was to put on a play. And we had people dressed as our founders, Paul Ransom and Marie Swenson, and we had students from the Everglades School for Girls, the Ransom School for Boys, meeting the current students of Ransom Everglades School and talking about how the history of the school has brought us to where we are today, and it was great. At the end of the program, we had a huge birthday cake come on stage, the kids blew out the candles, and we celebrated our 100 years, and we had a wonderful tribute to our school. It was great, and it was different. But I have to say that it wasn't as great as Harry Potter. It was cool and it was a different idea, but it wasn't as much fun, and I don't think the kids were as excited as they were the year before. So we went back to the drawing board, as you always should do when things work, but maybe not as great as they did before, and we wanted to think about how can we deliver information in a fun and creative way, but still get all the important questions answered. Because it's very important to note when you see all these open houses that they're not just fun and creative. We're getting all of the questions answered, and you must do that when you're hosting an open house. You have to get everything in. You have to showcase your school as much as possible and try to think about what people want to know. And we thought and thought about it, and at the end of the day we came up with this concept of a game show. Everybody loves game shows. The game show network is big now. All these old classic shows are coming back. You can ask questions. You can answer questions. There's applause. There's prizes. There's sound and music. There's something for everybody. So we said, you know what? Let's try this game show format. And the next year, this was our invitation with all those cute game show sayings. You open up the invitation, and you have another cute little poem. Come on down. Ransom is right. Survey says, buy a vowel, the weakest link, phone a friend, your final answer. So kids, once again, put this on their refrigerators. They're excited to come. They want to see what's this school going to do next. And so we decided we were going to do Family Feud. We like to think of ourselves as a family here at Ransom, and of course when parents that are looking at a school, they want to know that they're coming to a community. They're coming to a family. So we decided Family Feud, perfect. It was around when my parents were growing up, it was around when I was growing up, and it's around again, of course, on the Game Show Network. So that was the theme. We came up with another favor because this was now a Hollywood soundstage. We used this Hollywood clapboard, and those are little highlighters for the students to use because I apologize for the poor quality of this picture. That's the Ransom seal on the bottom. You can't see it very well. But as I said before with your favors, marketing, marketing, marketing. Everything the kids use. They're sitting in class in school, and a kid next to them thinks that this highlighter is very cool. They see the words Ransom Everglades School on it. They go home and ask their parents, hey, do you know about this Ransom Everglades School? And the conversation gets started from something as simple as a highlighter favor. Of course, we always have in the beginning it was very simple, and you'll see where we've advanced to now, display of our books in the auditorium lobby, and our parent ambassadors signing families in, handing out application packets. And this is our Family Feud set. We had the Ransom family and the Everglades family. You can see we have 8 students, 2 teachers, and 1 host who's always a student. And we have them playing against each other. And the way that we gave out our information was through the game show questions. Of course, we have the head of school speak and the admission director speak at the beginning, but the game show disseminates all the information about the school. So for this specific question, name the top 6 subjects studied at Ransom Everglades School. Survey says physical education. social studies, and so on and so on. And of course, there's always corresponding pictures on the sides when you talk about each class. But the question is what starts the conversation. So once you say social studies, then the host will talk to one of the students about what they're learning in their social studies class. And that's where you can give your information about the curriculum. These game shows are scripts that we write and we practice. We have rehearsals for 2 weeks before the show, after school for 2 hours a day. So these kids are committed to it. We talk about electives, you talk about sports. Every question deals with an aspect of the school. Of course, we had some fun with wrong answers. You can see the reactions on their faces. And then at the end, we do have some confetti and balloons. And of course, we are family, that RE we use for everything we can possibly say at Ransom. But at the end, we invited people to come and attend our reception afterwards. But it was fun. It was exciting. The kids were clapping. They were playing along. And we also still were able to give out all of our information in this fun and creative way. So we decided, you know what? This game show format works. Let's do it again. And we did it the next year. And we did Jeopardy, another classic game show. Everybody knows it. It's got great music. It's got a well-known host. And this was our invitation the next year. It's a TV screen with a band across it saying, you're invited to play. You take the band off, Jeopardy. And then we had an accordion invitation this year with answers in each one of the TV boxes. This excellent private school was founded in 1903, and so on and so on and so on. You go to the other part of the invitation, and it's ding, ding, ding. What is Ransom Everglades School is the answer. A cute, creative invitation, once again, get the kids excited, get them curious, invites them to the show. We did Family Feud for 2 years, and we did the Jeopardy show for 3 years. And we use the same set because these sets are very well built, and they're something that you can certainly use over and over again. And what we did every year was just change the questions, change up the script a little bit, make everything as current as possible. So this is another invitation that we use for Jeopardy. This is a PDF. So this is the front of the invitation. This was the middle, and this is actually a wheel that you would turn, and each question would be, when you turned it, a new question where the answer was ding, 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 what is Ransom Everglades School? And to talk a little bit about invitations, one thing that's really important about these open houses is getting as many people involved as possible. You want buy-in from the whole community of your school. And what we do for all of our invitations is we have a local alum who's excellent, and certainly I'm happy to give her information out to anyone that wants it. She can do work from all over the country. And she designs all of our information. She does all of our print work. She's excellent, and she loves the school, so she wants to help. So reach out to your alums for help when it comes to things like this. This year for Jeopardy, we decided to up our game a little bit, and we added some new things. And what's really important also about these events is every year to try to make them a little bit better and add something new. So this year we had this cool facade for our auditorium entrance, which made it like a network studio in Hollywood. And our maintenance staff actually built that and painted them themselves. So we have buy-in from the community. Use the people on your campus to help with these events. Get everybody involved. We also got T-shirts for all of our crew. This is a member of our maintenance staff here working on the set. These are our technical theater students who run the show from backstage. These are our parent ambassadors handing out the application packet. So it really seemed very professional, and it was fun, and everyone that was involved in the production, of course, were wearing these T-shirts. We decided when families were waiting for the show to start, let's showcase some more students. So we had our middle school band play while the parents were waiting for the production. We had our middle school chorus play while the parents were waiting for the production. So now we're not only showcasing our student actors and our teachers, we're also showcasing our band and our chorus. Get as many kids involved as possible, because at the end of the day, it's all about the students. That's what you want to show off about your school. We also decided to have these cool game cards for the kids, which displayed all of the categories for Jeopardy: academics, athletics, clubs, field trips, electives, and events. And the student ambassadors, as you can see back here, one of our student ambassadors, were handing them out to the students as they walked in the auditorium, and they were peel-off stickers, which all of the kids had when they walked in the auditorium, and you'll see a little bit later what we did with them. But something fun. It piqued their interest as they were walking in. Once again, we did favors. This year we did this cool aerodynamic pen, which of course said Ransom Everglades School on it. Another way to market, market, market. Here was our set, which our maintenance staff made from scratch, wood, painted. Our IT department helped with all the panels, of course, and the monitors. This is our screen in the auditorium, and these are 2 extra screens that we rent for the show. And it's the game show format. There's our game board. All of the categories you see up here, we answered and asked questions from all these categories, and that's how we gave out our information. Another great way to give out information is the meeting the contestants part of the game show. Madison, the host, would ask, oh, I hear you were in the school play this year. Tell me a little bit about the drama department at Ransom. Zoe, I heard you love to play soccer. What other sports do you play? Tell me about athletics. Sophie, I heard you're on the math team. Tell me a little bit about the academic teams here at Ransom. So in just those dialogue and discussions with the contestants, there's so much information you can give out about the students. And typically we have the kids that are involved in these programs are thespians. So they're pros, they love it, they enjoy being on stage, and they get to help out and help their school. Here's some of the examples of questions: volleyball, swimming, cross country, dance, cheerleading, and football. And of course the answer was, what are fall sports? And you see the corresponding pictures on the side. Another question: in order to solve this word problem, you must take this academic class. The host, of course, then gave out a word problem, and the answer is, what is math? So all of the questions have to do with the academics, the athletics, the electives, and so on and so on. We, of course, have Double Jeopardy, which was fun, and that's where these game cards came into play. You see the kids peeling the game cards. The host would say, Double Jeopardy is academics for 300. The students would peel academics for 300, and if you had a star under that category, you would come up on stage and you were a winner. So these 2 kids came up on stage. They told our student host about what their names were, what school they attended, and in turn we gave them a little prize. Once again, some more marketing for your school, had some t-shirts in there, hats, all saying Ransom Everglades on it. And then we also had a prize for the parents. Inside each one of those gift bags was a gift certificate that waived their $100 application fee. So that was really fun because it was something for the parents also. And then we decided it would be fun to have confetti and balloons drop from the ceiling and have smoke, and all the kids got excited about the finale of the show. We'd always have a grand finale song like We Are Family with Family Feud, or Celebration with Jeopardy. Now we have much more current songs that the kids like to hear at the end, but it was another way to get the kids excited, to get them out of their chairs learning about our school. And this was the end of the show. Big success. Everybody loved Jeopardy. And then after the show, we head off to the reception. I want to take a little break from talking about our themes to talk to you about our open house receptions. Here you see the students walking across our aquatic center to our gymnasium, and that's where we now hold our receptions. However, we used to have our receptions in the dining hall cafeteria, but our attendance grew so much that we had to move it to the gym. The format used to be food, refreshments, general mingling with students, parents, and administrators. There was really no formal program or setup, which was fine, but we decided, you know what, we want to make this more interactive, more engaging for our students. So when we moved to the gymnasium where we had more space, that's exactly what we did. We set up around the perimeter of the gymnasium interactive tables for each academic discipline plus other areas of the school, and we had books, curriculum, iPads, interactive games, experiments, so on and so on. Teachers and students were available at each table to answer questions. Prospective students and parents were engrossed in these displays and loved learning more about our school. And the reception really became an educational utopia where kids were engaged, excited to learn, and teachers were whetting their appetites for knowledge. Here are some pictures of our tables. There you see our world languages tables. You can see all the different activities that students and parents can be involved in. Our fine arts tables, students here, we had many instruments they could try for performing arts. Back here you see a student working on graphic design with our art teacher. And you see the excitement on the kids' faces. That I think is the most important part. Our English table talking about the literature we study. We had iPads at every table. That one's displaying a Harkness classroom at our school. Our math table with great games, working with the teacher there on a math game. Our robotics team, our middle school robotics team, the students were actually there showing the kids how our robotics program works. There's one of the longest lines is at the robotics table every year. On the right side, you see kids doing a science experiment at the science table. Physical education, physio balls, jump ropes, PE teachers working with the kids. Here's a social studies table, a student doing a geography test, testing his knowledge of the states. This is probably one of my favorite pictures here on the right because this is our library table, and our librarian's amazing. She goes out all out every year just with a simple display of books, but it's just the way that she displays it. And look at this picture of these two boys kind of cuddled up against the table reading a book that they just can't get enough of, reading it voraciously. And that's exactly what you want, that image right there. Our athletics table, kids getting excited about sports, talking to our coaches. And of course, we have food, drinks, desserts. These cupcakes are always a popular item. Our maintenance staff actually built that cupcake tree themselves. I have this picture here of water, which I'm going to take a sip of right now, actually. Excuse me for a second there. But I put this picture here to show you about, once again, about branding and about marketing and how important it is, even from something so simple as a water bottle or a coffee cup, to always have your school name on it, always have your school seal on it, because when people walk out, they should always have something that shows your school and that spreads that word to other families, other kids, other school administrators in the community. Here you see myself and our head of school, Penny Townsend, speaking with prospective families. And there is your glimpse of the reception, kind of a wide-angle shot so you can see how many people are there. And just coming to this reception and seeing all the other people there gets parents excited about applying. This is obviously a place where people want to be. There's something great here. It creates a buzz. And that's what we want our open house to do, is create a buzz. You see all the tables here in the background. This is where the parents go and visit and the students go and visit. Here's another shot. You can see all the tables back here where the families walk around. And of course, we have our food over here and our food over here and cupcakes in the middle. But it just really creates a buzz. The kids get excited, and it worked. So for us, these receptions are as much of a part of it as the show, and it becomes an educational fair. So it's that fun part, getting the kids excited with the show, and then moving on to the reception where they have a chance to really interact and speak with the people in our school who make our school so special, the teachers, the administrators, and the kids. So we did the game show format again because it worked. Who wants to be a millionaire? Of course, all of us, but we work at schools, so we're in the wrong business. But really, it's who wants to be a ransom raider. So this was the cover of our invitation. You're invited to apply, and then you open it up again, and this was a folding invitation where there were questions about the school in the Millionaire format, of course. Give some cute information about the school, have the lifelines there. Then, of course, you have the information about where it is, the details, and on the back we have two cute pictures of kids reminding them to RSVP. Once again, we had that great facade that our maintenance staff built, and you just, change the year every year, put the different seal on. Here it's our Who Wants to be a Ransom Raider logo. These were our favors this year. They were backpacks. They were actually very inexpensive. They were made of that material that the kids love. I forget what it's called, but those drawstring backpacks. And what we did this year was we put the application packets, the admission packets, in the backpacks, handed them to parents as they came in. Parents took the stuff out, handed the backpacks to the kids, and every kid at the auditorium and at the reception was wearing these backpacks. And the best part is when they left the school, they continued to wear them. And they were wearing them all over Miami. It was like having an ad on the side of a bus but you didn't really pay for. These were, hundreds of kids walking around Miami with Ransom Everglades School, and it was great. One of our feeder school principals even commenting that it was marketing genius because here you have kids walking all around Miami showing off their Ransom backpack. This was our set, once again built by our maintenance staff and our technical theater crew at Ransom, so done by our own people. The great thing about Millionaire is it's got great lights, great sound, and as I mentioned before, our own technical theater class at the upper school runs the whole show. They do it all, showcasing our students once again. You can see we have the studio audience on stage, of course some of our students posing as a studio audience and our contestants. And the first question starts with a fastest finger question, but great fun game show format, but talking about your school. This first question talks about the history of Ransom Everglades School, and then after the answer comes up, of course the host will elaborate more on that question. So in this game show, it was all of the kids working together to try to reach an A+, 100 points. So what best describes a typical middle school day? Of course, the answer is A. Always like to have a little fun with some of the wrong answers, create some laughter and some humor in your program. But after you answer the question, that's your chance to tell more about the school. What are those 9 periods? What are the electives at the school? Another question, what makes Tuesday and Thursday schedules so unique at the middle school? And the answer is clubs and activities. Then you can talk about clubs and activities. This is a question about some of the events that parents can attend. Talk about parent involvement in the school. This question talks about our unique athletic sports at Ransom, and then this leads to talking about all of the athletics that we offer at Ransom. And of course, there's always corresponding pictures that go along with each slide. But we've got the music and the lights from Millionaire, like if you remember the show, for every single slide. And then a very popular question, how much homework do middle school students have every night? This is always a fun question. And this was important too because as I mentioned before, I think kids are always nervous when they're coming to visit schools because they're stressed out about it. And this is a question where they probably heard there was 4 hours of homework a night in the middle school. And that's not true. The reality is there's 30 minutes per subject per night. And that was a way for us to give out that information. And then of course at the end, our last question is, who wants to be a Ransom Raider? And here's a way for us to tell parents and kids what kind of students we want at Ransom. Hardworking, self-motivated, well-rounded, bright, artistic, athletic, respectful, honorable, and responsible. And of course the answer is all of the above. And this is how we could say these are the type of kids. If you remember that pie chart earlier in the slideshow from the SSATB magazine that talked about why people come to open houses. One is they want to see what kind of kids these schools are looking for. And here is what we're telling you. These are the kind of students that we want. So of course at the end we also had our confetti and balloon drop. We had our fantastic reception. And we did the Millionaire show for 3 years. It was a big hit. Everyone loved the show. And people kept asking us, how are you going to top the show? What are you going to do next? So once again, we gathered our group together. We talked about what's big in pop culture right now. And of course, the biggest thing right now is The Voice. Very popular talent show. Everybody loves it. Famous people, people singing, and I really wanted to do it, but of course I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be a musical. For years and years I had been writing the scripts, and I finally realized that it was time to get our talented people on our campus involved. So I elicited the help of our incredible drama teachers here at the middle school, and they wrote the script. Finally, I learned, get your people involved. This is such a huge part of the open house. Have everybody in the school buy into it. So we made our version. That's where the title of the show comes up, of course, of this webinar, The Choice. And that The Choice obviously is for a number of reasons. Of course, it rhymes with The Voice. But The Choice is Ransom Everglades School. We want your choice to be Ransom Everglades School. We want you to make that right choice. But it was also about the families making the choice to choose us. It's their choice. And what we made our game show about was how many choices you as a student have at Ransom Everglades School. So that's what the show became. And that was our invitation. This is a PDF of it. This is The Choice. That's the cover. We have, of course, our cool chairs that the judges sit in on the show, and instead of I want you, we said RE wants you, and we also have that on our set. Of course, our QR code with online RSVPs, which once we started doing online RSVPs, we saw what a huge benefit that was. And for those of you that aren't doing those yet, we highly recommend doing it. It's a great way to collect information as well. So our maintenance staff, incredible again. This year they decided to do an even bigger facade. They built this out of plywood and metal. They painted it. They did the signs. They did everything. And this is with blue and green lights, of course, for our school colors. Once again, this great facade as families are walking into the auditorium. As I mentioned before, it's always important to add something new. Every year we want to do more and more. We added the band, we added the chorus. Well, now we decided let's showcase our artists as well, not just our thespians and our actors and our athletes. Let's showcase our student artists. So our art gallery is across from our auditorium. So the art gallery was open with a student art show that our teachers and our students put on right across, so families were able to visit it before the open house and after, and we were able to showcase our talented student artists as well, so bringing everybody in. You remember the game cards from Jeopardy? Well, this year, since we decided we're doing a musical, let's make the game card an iPhone with a playlist. So all of the categories were on the playlist: academics, athletics, community service, electives, clubs and activities, special events, and field trips. You see the girls, prospective students, sitting with their backpacks and their playlists, excited for the show to start. And these playlists were also peel-offs, like the previous ones from Jeopardy, where we had someone come up on stage who peeled it off, and they were a winner, and they got a big basket from Ransom Everglades School, and of course that application fee waiver for the parents. As I mentioned before every open house we have our head of school speech and our director of admission speech. These are very, very important to the success of an open house. And even though I mentioned it in an earlier slide that everyone does them, you must do them. Your head of school is the most important person to talk about your school. This is our head of school, Penny Townsend. She sets the tone for the school, so of course you want her out in front and center. She talks about the mission of the school, about our students, about our parents, about partnering with our parents, and those are very important messages that we want to send. The director of admission will of course speak about the admission process, the deadlines, the guidelines. All of this is important information, but probably things that the kids don't want to hear. So that's why we decided to add something to these speeches, not to just have these speeches, but to do something afterwards. And that's where we started our show of getting kids excited. Here you have me introducing the show with our student host and our two kids who are going to be the singers for the show. Once again, a new great set that our maintenance department and our technical theater department built. Yes, we have those chairs. Those are built out of wood. These are wood boxes below. We recycled the set from the Millionaire show, so you need to be resourceful in doing these things. Obviously, you can't be spending money on everything, and you want to reuse things over and over again every year, and we do that, and we do a great job of really managing that. We have the chairs that do spin around, and we have our technical theater students as the ones that spin them. And once again, our categories. But what was different about this show was our student actors introduced every category with a song. So the songs were very current. Our drama teachers actually wrote the songs with their students in drama class in September. So this one is about academics, and it's the song Let It Go from Frozen, another international phenomenon that kids love. We also had Royals from Lorde, Fancy, Happy from Pharrell, Shake It Off, Taylor Swift, Problem, Ariana Grande, all super current songs that the kids love. We changed the words to make them about Ransom. We had the words on the screen so people could follow along as they sang. Here you see the kids getting animated. Here they're singing, instead of I've got one less problem to choose from, this is I've got 5 electives to choose from, and then we talk about the electives. And it was great. The kids got excited. Here we talk about athletics, and you see the students here, when they saw something that they wanted to participate in, they would press their red button, which was the choice button, and right here would light up and it would say, I want that, in blue and green colors. Once again, lights built by our technical theater students. This is a part of their class at the upper school, and it's so great because they feel such pride for their school when they see this production put on. Talking about electives. Here's our kids doing a rap to I'm So Fancy, talking about community service. It was great. And instead of I'm So Fancy, the song was We're So Giving, giving back to others, the Ransom mission, spreading the word of the school through song. It didn't get much better than that. And actually, unfortunately, these webinars don't support video very well. So at the end of the show, I have a link to a short video montage of our open house. It's about 4 minutes that I hope you all will log into and check it out, because it's really neat to actually hear the songs. I wouldn't want to torture you and sing them myself now. At the end, we had our middle school director come on stage and choose the winner. And of course, our awesome confetti and balloon finale. Got the maintenance staff and the technical theater students up in the catwalk dropping these balloons. You see on the screen here it says the choice is yours, inviting everyone to apply once again to Ransom Everglades School. We added beach balls. The kids love that, something to get them excited. So as you can see, we've come a long way since 2002. We started with Harry Potter with these very little signs that said 9 3/4 and a sorting hat, and we ended up with The Voice and our incredible set with the confetti. We've done Family Feud, Jeopardy, Millionaire, 100 Years, our centennial. It's all about being creative and thinking outside the box, because really an open house is your chance to shine, your opportunity to capture the essence of your school, your shot at engaging prospective families for a moment in time in the hopes that they will apply and eventually enroll in your fine institution. I do also want to note that at Ransom we do one open house, and we put all of our eggs in one basket. All of our advertisements go for our open house. We do not do advertisements the rest of the year for admissions. They're all for our open houses because we want our families all to come to this one event every year that we showcase our students in. And a unique open house like this really requires a great deal of effort, preparation, and coordination. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it's easy, but it's all about teamwork. And the outcome, as you're about to see, is completely worth it. Our open house attendance for that first one in 2002 was 631 guests. The last one we just had in 2014 was 1,083 guests. It makes a difference. You have to be creative. You have to think outside the box and do something different. And even more importantly, let's talk about applications. What we all really care about is 6th grade is our entry-level year. That's what we track the most, of course. Since 2002, we've seen an 84% increase in applications. Of course, our open house is not the only reason why we have a fantastic school, but remember, this is what gets your message out. This is what brings people in. This is their first impression of the school. So you've got to do something great, and you've got to do something different. But what's really important to note is that an open house is a school-wide event, not just an admission of office event. I don't know how many of your schools deal with that, where people say, oh, it's the admission office event. It's not. It's school-wide, and you've got to change that perception in your school. It's not always easy to do. You've got to enlist people. You've got to have buy-in. You've got to call for reinforcements. Everybody must get involved to make it a success. Of course, the leadership and coordination takes place in the admission office. You are the one that brings it all together, but you have to have buy-in from the whole school. It requires a great amount of teamwork. Teamwork, teamwork, teamwork. And let's just look at all the people that are involved in making this event an success. As I mentioned, invitations and advertisements. Get a local alum to do your graphic design work for you. They may even do it for free. They may even do it for a reduced price, but get your school community involved. Your theme, brainstorm with your office staff, your teachers, your students. Your script and music. Work with your drama teachers. Have them write your script. Have them write the songs with their classes. The set, your maintenance staff, your technical theater crew and director. The art shows put on by the teachers and the students. The band director and the chorus director. Those kids practice in class for the open house. The auditorium, the lights, the sound, the AV, technical theater students, and the technical theater director. Registration, that's your parent ambassadors. Handing out favors as the student ambassadors. Speeches, head of school and admission director. The show, your student ambassadors, student actors who rehearse for 2 weeks. The confetti and balloon drop, maintenance staff, technical theater crew. Our photography class students take the photos. Our RETV students do the video. Our gymnasium usage is coordinated by our athletic office. The reception tables, those are put on by the teachers. The teachers put on their displays and come up with them. And every year, because this is extra work for them, so you have to have incentives, of course. They want to be part of it. And every year we have a little healthy competition amongst the teachers of who has the best table, and I give a little gift card at the end of the open house for the teacher that has the most interactive and exciting table. So it becomes fun. Every year they want to do something new. The food, you have to coordinate with your food services department. And of course, the most important thing is your facilities. On that day of your open house, your campus has to look better than it's ever looked before, and that is the job of the maintenance department. Very important people to be close with, of course, and at the end of the day, they're also the ones that are cleaning up, so that's important as well. So for us, the choice was to do a unique open house, and it's worked. After 13 years of writing scripts and running rehearsals for these open houses, I've certainly come to feel more and more like a Broadway producer than an admission director, but you know what? It was worth it. This event has garnered up a great deal of exposure, and every October, it's truly the talk of the town amongst elementary school students, parents, and administrators in Miami. And this is exactly what we wanted. People talking about our school and getting excited to visit and learn more about us. Thinking outside the box can lead you in many directions, but it will most definitely lead you on a path to differentiate your school from others. That's what we've done here at Ransom Everglades School with our unique open house format, and we're very proud of it, and we've come a long way since 2002. So the most important thing I can say to you is always be open to change and consistently try new things. Because you know what? The possibilities are endless. and success will flourish. Here is just a link of the video montage. I don't know if you can copy and paste it from the webinar or if you can write it down, but we did actually hire a professional company to do our video this year. We've been having our kids do it for years and years, and they were great, but we decided one year we wanted to have a professional do it, and they did a short 4-minute video montage that can really give you a glimpse of how it all comes together at the end. So please feel free to copy that down and copy it into your web browser later today, or access it later, of course, from the SSATB website. And here's my contact info. Please feel free to email me, call me, visit our website. I'm open to any questions, suggestions, comments. I was so happy to do this presentation today. I felt really honored that SSATB asked me, and I thank you all so much for listening and for being such a wonderful audience today. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amy. That was really just so inspiring, and I appreciate that. We do have a few questions, and I wonder if you can address those for us, if you wouldn't mind. We are going to actually, for those of you who, the link was on the last slide, it will be archived on the admission.org website under the webinar. That's a great way to copy it now, but it'll also be there for you to get when you research all of the webinars that are there. But a couple of questions about the open house timeline.
Yes.
One of the questions, we obviously saw that you had the reception after the game show. How much time did the game take up, and how much time was the reception?
Okay, that's a great question, because I know it looks like it's really long, and that is really important to us, is that, as we know, kids have very short attention spans. So what we tried to aim for was our head of school speech to be about 8 minutes, my speech to be about 8 minutes, and the actual game show itself is about 30 minutes. So we want them to be sitting for about 45 minutes, at the most an hour. So we start at 3:30. Usually they're out of the auditorium by 4:30. That's really important, because I think if you have people sitting for more than an hour, they get antsy. So the game show itself was about 30 minutes. People walk down to the reception. They get down there about 4:45. We do have quite a long campus, as you could see. And people stay for as long as they want. Some stay for 30 minutes. Some stay for an hour and a half. We're usually out of the reception by about 6:15. So the whole event usually lasts from about 3:30 to 6:15. So, you know, about 2.5 hours by the time, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. But the reception, we'd be amazed every year at 6:15. We're tired. We're ready to go home, and people are still at the tables checking everything out. The kids don't want to leave the robotics table, don't want to leave the science table. But I would say for the show itself, I would shoot for no longer than 30 minutes.
Great. That's great. A question about the student reaction that you talked about. How do you measure the student reaction? Did you have a formal way of measuring that?
That's a good question. We don't have a formal way, but we actually kind of have my admission office and our teachers and everything kind of are spread out in the auditorium, sitting amongst the families. And so I have my little spies out there. So I even have them kind of taking notes about which jokes they laughed at, which things had the best reaction. And of course, we also videotape the show every year, so we can get a sense of the audience and what their reaction to each thing is. And we also have kids that write us notes, send us emails, and talk to their friends, and we hear back from families about that. So it's really from word of mouth and from us just kind of watching the families as they are watching the show.
Great. Just a couple more. Charlotte was asking about budget and actually when you do tours of the school.
Okay, great question. Budget's a great question, because I think in looking at a lot of this, you must wonder, oh, how much does everything cost? And I think that goes back to the whole question of how do you get people involved so that you don't have to pay people to do this? So once again, you get an alum to do your invitations. You get your maintenance staff to build your set. You get your drama teachers to write your script. The favors, of course, will cost money. The advertisements will cost money. You know, if you have someone professionally videotape it, it costs money. But at the end of the day, it is not cheap. But I would say as much as you can do to get people involved in your school doing the work for it, that you don't have to pay outside people to do it, you certainly want to do that. But I would say because we only do one event, all of our events budget goes into this one open house. So we have the freedom to really put all of our eggs in one basket. So that's really important. But like I said, get buy-in from your whole community, because that takes time. I think because I was a teacher here before I was an administrator. I get along very well with the faculty members, so they're willing to work for me and to help us out. And so they're excited about this. And they know that at the end of the day, admissions affects the entire school. This is, as I said, not just an admission event. So get as many people as possible to help with that. If you want, of course, specific things, you certainly shoot me an email. I'll be happy to address those questions about each detail of the open house. As far as tours, that's a great question. We do tours on set days. With the open house, the tours, we do really self-guided tours. We used to do set tours where they came out. We had a member of the student body or the National Honor Society or parents give tours, but we felt that it really delayed them in getting to the reception. Some families did them, some families didn't. So we decided to make the tour more of a self-guided one. The open house itself actually takes place on the upper school campus, and because we're on 2 different campuses, we felt that that was a way to get the middle school families to see the upper school. Since when they come for the interview, they come to the middle school. When they come for their tour, they come to the middle school. So then we have tour dates on separate days once the admissions process starts. We offer tours every Tuesday at the middle school, and they're given by our middle school admission director who does these group tours. Our middle school director, our principal, who does the tours for us, and they're about an hour and a half long.
Okay, great. And then Yuri asks, and I think you may have answered this earlier, but do you publicize for families that this is the one and only opportunity to come to the open house? The other opportunities are obviously interviews.
Right, that's a great question. Well, just a couple things about that. Of course, we have tours offered throughout the year, which is very important. We also do small events for our feeder schools. So for our feeder schools, we have 8 feeder schools, and we do 4 private receptions for those parents where we do more of the old school open house where we have little presentations. They get to meet the teachers. We have an English teacher, a math teacher, our head of school, question and answers. So we have those small events. That's a big part of our constituency. But we do get the word out. We don't put on the ads, that's a very good question, that this is the only open house. We do have that on our website, though. But as far as the advertisements go, we don't. I think it's, I hate to say this, but it's kind of become known because it's such a big event now that people talk about, that everyone knows this is the one big open house that we do every year. But that's a good point. Maybe that's a good suggestion, Yuri, that we should put in our ad that this is it. This is the one big open house that we do. And just talking about advertisements, when you look at your advertising budgets, we, as I said, don't do advertisements throughout the year for Ransom Everglades School just on a random basis. We put them all in September and early October. We do our open house every year in October, the middle of October. We do it on PSAT day so that we actually have an early dismissal for both campuses. So everyone's out of school by 1 o'clock, and then we have all the parking spaces clean. The faculty is dismissed at 1 o'clock that are not involved in because we have to have parking for 1,000 people. So that's how we manage that.
Right. Well, that is great. Amy, thank you for giving us all so much to think about, and thank you all to the audience for tuning in today, and for hopefully you've come away with some insight into making your open houses a little more memorable, just like Amy's done at Ransom. And again, just as a reminder, the recording of this presentation is available on the webinar page in the professional development section of admission.org. And thank you all, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.